Very good morning to each one of us gathered in here. Let me kindly welcome you to Waterfront Sunbird Hotel here in Salima, Malawi, the warm heart of Africa. Let me first pick the signal if the interpreters can take it. Thank you very much, interpreters, that you could pick the signals.
Recording in progress.
Thank you. So let's get set. For those of us who haven't secured our seats, protocol team kindly guide member states to take their seats so that we are ready to go for this first segment, which is the official opening of this conference here in Salima, Malawi. Kindly let me indicate that I'll be co-hosting with my colleague, Les Sompo, who is coming from the SADC office responsible for communication and public relations. And my name is Assistant Superintendent Steve Charles Meke, and I will be your Director of Ceremonies together with my colleague, Letso Paul. Kindly let us enjoy this important gathering here in the warm heart of Africa, Malawi. Taking you through the program, just to make sure that we are right on spot. The first item after the arrival of the Honorable Minister will be observing of anthems, and take note that we will have the Malawi national anthem, SADC anthem, as well as the African Union anthem. These anthems will be played, and at that point, will be requested to rise to honor these anthems. Proceeding, taking you through the program, we'll have remarks by the Director of Ceremonies. In this case, my colleague, Letson Paul, will do that task. As I said, we are co-hosting with the Public Relations Officer right from SADC. After the remarks by the Director of Ceremonies, then we'll dive into speak segment. And first to speak will be the Commissioner General, Malawi Prison Service, Ms. Wandika Pidi. At that point, then we'll transition. I'll take over from Lester Paul, and we'll kindly invite the Director of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Affairs, Professor Kula I. Teresani. The Commissioner Generals arriving may all stand to recognize the presence of the generals. Once again, let me welcome you to this very important SADC conference happening here at Waterfront Sunbird Hotel in Salima, Malawi, the home heart of Africa. But just to indicate that direction to our washrooms, you go by the main entrance. In this case, it will be the main exit. Immediately turn to your left. Proceeding, you'll find washrooms for both males as well as females. Take note that after that, you can always join us. But again, we also have our medical team behind this conference. They'll be there to provide first aid treatment. So they are there at your disposal so that we go on in as far as this meeting is concerned. We take care of all our issues medically, there to provide first aid at your disposal. Glad that you have joined us at this very important meeting. Also to indicate that those of us managing our gadgets, if you may, make sure that the phones are silenced to avoid disrupting the flow of this very important meeting. Kindly welcome once again, even as I hand over to my colleague, Letson Paul. Thank you very much. Over to you, Letson Paul.
Without any further delay, may I now kindly invite to the podium
Ms. Wandika Piri, Commissioner General of Malawi Prisons Service and the Chairperson of the SADC Heads of Corrections, Prisons, Penitentiary Services, to deliver her remarks. Commissioner General, you are most welcome.
Our guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Homeland Security, Honorable Peter Mkito, the Director of SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Affairs, Professor Kule Teletane, the Deputy Director of the organ. I'd also like to extend a special welcome to her, who has been with us in the expert team since the beginning of the week. The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Homeland Security, Mrs. Linda Moyo, all heads of corrections, prisons, penitentiary services in SADC, member states, or their representatives who have attended this conference, the directors and other senior officers in the Ministry of Homeland Security and the Malawi Prison Service, officials from the SADC Secretariat, the MND experts, and other senior officials from SADC member states attending this conference, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome. It is my singular honor and privilege to warmly welcome you, Honorable Minister, sir, our guest of honor, as well as to all my colleagues from SADC Corrections family, to the Republic of Malawi for the 2026 SADC Heads of Corrections, Prisons, Penitentiary Services Conference in Salima. Honorable Minister, sir, allow me on the outset to sincerely thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to grace this official occasion. Your presence today signifies the importance that the government of the Republic of Malawi attaches to regional cooperation, correctional reforms, peace, and security within the SADC region. Allow me also to extend a special welcome to the Director of the SADC Organ on Politics and Defense and Security Affairs, to all the heads of corrections, prisons, penitentiary services, our M&E experts who commenced their meeting about 2 days ago, and all delegates from our SADC member states. We are deeply honored by your presence and grateful for your commitment to strengthening cooperation with the correctional space in our SADC region. A guest of honor, this annual conference has become an important regional platform for dialogue, cooperation, and exchange of best practices among the correctional leaders within SADC. Since its establishment, the forum has continued to promote collaboration in advancing progress and addressing common challenges affecting correctional services in our region. As correctional leaders, we recognize that rehabilitation cannot be achieved through confinement alone. It requires comprehensive interventions that include education, vocational training, psychosocial support, behavioral change programs, restorative justice initiatives, and active community participation, reintegration. So reintegration therefore becomes a shared responsibility involving government, communities, civil society organizations, faith-based institutions, and development partners. Honorable Minister, sir, this conference also provides us with an opportunity to reflect on the progress made in implementing resolutions from previous conferences, which took place, amongst others, Namibia, Zambia, and the Republic of Tanzania. We must continue building upon the strong foundation already established in areas such as intelligence gathering and prevention of violent extremism and radicalization in our prisons. It is pleasing to note that this year's program includes discussions on innovative approaches to offender rehabilitation, collaboration beyond prison walls, measuring success using international standards such as the Nelson Mandela rules, and sharing best practices from around the globe. These discussions will undoubtedly enrich our collective effort and help shape the future of correctional administration within the SADC region. Honorable Minister, the Republic of Malawi remains fully committed to the ideas and objectives of SADC, particularly in promoting peace, security, justice, and human dignity. As chair of the SADC organ on politics, defense, and security cooperation, Malawi is greatly honored to host this important gathering. As a matter of fact, this conference engagements commenced yesterday with a meeting of our correctional services monitoring and evaluation experts who convened ahead of this conference to lay a solid foundation for our deliberations. Allow me, therefore, to commend them for their valuable contribution, as their work is critical in ensuring our services' effectiveness and alignment with emerging regional challenges. It is my sincere hope, Honorable Minister and Director of the organ, and my fellow distinguished delegates, that as we deliberate, we will remain guided by our shared vision of transforming our correctional facilities into centers of rehabilitation. Let us continue strengthening cooperation as SADC member states, learning from one another, and working collectively towards building correctional systems that positively contribute to peace and security. Honorable Minister, sir, allow me once again to sincerely thank you for graciously accepting to preside over this official opening ceremony. We all appreciate your presence today, as it serves as encouragement to all of us in SADC correction space, to our respective governments' commitment towards correctional matters. Allow me also, before I conclude, to express my sincere appreciation to government, through you, sir, for the valuable financial and material support provided towards this success of hosting this conference. Finally, I wish us all productive deliberations and a pleasant stay here in Salima at our beautiful Sunbird Livingstonia Beach Resort. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Honourable Minister, I am Assistant Superintendent Steve Charles Meke, the National Public Relations Officer for the Malawi Prison Service, and also co-director of ceremonies with my colleague, Letso Mpo. Honourable Minister, allow me therefore to stand on the protocol already established by my co-director so that we can redeem time proceeding. At this point in time, as we are still in the speech segment, Honourable Minister, allow me to invite Professor Kula I. Teretsane, Director of the Organ on Politics, Defense, and Security Affairs. Professor Kula I. Teretsane.
Thank you, Program Director. A guest of honor, Honorable Peter Mukito, the Minister of Homeland Security, our host, Commissioner General of the Malawi Prison Service, Ms. Wandika Piri, Commissioner Generals of Corrections, Prisons, Penitentiary Services in the SADC region, colleagues from the SADC Secretariat, representatives from partner institutions, media representatives, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you. On behalf of the SADC Secretariat, allow me at the very beginning to express our sincere appreciation to the government of the Republic of Malawi, and in particular the Malawi Prison Service, for the invaluable financial, technical, and logistical support provided towards the successful hosting of this important conference. We are equally grateful for the warm hospitality and excellent arrangement extended to all delegates since our arrival in this warm heart of Africa. Not to mention the beauty of Salima that I believe all delegates will take as an inedible memory back to their respective countries. Distinguished member states, since 2024, the Corrections, Prison, Penitentiary Annual Conference has become a cornerstone for the implementation of the Regional Prison Reform Agenda. The platform was intentionally designed to strengthen collaboration and coordination that creates space for open and critical dialogue and enable member states to exchange best practices on matters that affect correction system across the region. Through structured discussion and lessons drawn from lived experience, the platform builds on a cohesive regional approach, one that strengthens safety and security. It serves as a bridge connecting leaders, sharing resources, and fostering partnerships that support offender transformation and improve overall outcomes for those in custody. I hasten to reflect on the path already traveled since the first conference in 2023 and the strategic themes that it has carefully prioritized over the years in line with these emerging challenges. In 2023, the Republic of Namibia hosted this conference, and in that conference, it examined the critical role corrections play in the regional peace and security architecture, especially in conflict prevention and management. Going to the next year, in 2024, which was hosted by the Republic of Zambia, it focused on preventing radicalization to violent extremism and violence in prison, strengthening awareness and capacity building. Last year, the United Republic of Tanzania, there we focused on strengthening the role of intelligence gathering for early warning. It appreciated the correctional facilities as a source of intelligence and can contribute to a compendium of intelligence at the national level. Today, with the Republic of Malawi as the host of the 2026 conference, the theme is Pathway to Change, facilitating effective offender rehabilitation and reintegration in corrections prison. This one reflects a deliberate shift from purely punitive approach towards rehabilitation and reintegration. We have to accept that the effective offender rehabilitation and reintegration require a structured transition from punitive custody to community-based support, utilizing framework like the risk, need, responsivity model. Correction system reduce a situation where offenders keep on re-offending and going back to prison again. Across the SADC region, there is a recognition that sustainable peace, security, and development cannot be achieved without addressing the root cause of the offending behavior and supporting offenders to reintegrate successfully into the society. Rehabilitation and reintegration are therefore not peripheral functions. They are central to effective corrections management and broader human security. Our theme today builds on significant progress made across the region, including the development of various guidelines and tools that advance approaches aimed at empowering offenders to rebuild their lives. These efforts are anchored not only in region framework but also in key international standards which strongly advocate for comprehensive rehabilitation and reintegration. And such approaches are essential to promoting safer community, reducing number of things, and strengthening public confidence in correctional system. As we are all aware, correctional systems across the region face a persistent challenges such as overcrowding, recidivism against constrained resources. These realities require structured, evidence-informed pathways that guide offenders toward positive behavioral transformation and successful reintegration. SADC continue to encourage member states to strengthen correctional system through, one, the adoption of rehabilitation-focused approaches, the promotion of skills development, education, and psychological support for inmates, the enhancement of post-release reintegration framework, including community-based support. Honorable Minister, I think this is important, and I'm glad all these things are going to be discussed here today. We need to run away from a situation where offenders are arrested for a period of 20 years, and after 20 years, we release them into the society and expect them just to reintegrate like that. It's not going to happen. Transitional housing, security stable accommodation, family and community support involving families in the rehabilitation process that helps to rebuild social networks and community trust. Aftercare programs, providing ongoing case management, mental health support, and mentorship during the critical minimum rules for treatment of prisoners, the Nelson Mandela rules, among others. Distinguished member states, as I draw to close, I would like to invite all delegates to approach this conference with openness, honesty, and a strong spirit of regional cooperation. Let us dialogue, share best practices, identify obstacles, and propose mitigation measures. My sincere hope is for us to leave this conference with commitments that are realistic, with innovative reasoning models and measurables, so that pathways to change become pathways to tangible results across SADC correctional system. The SADC Secretariat remains committed to supporting member states in advancing correctional reforms that are people-centered, right-based, and development-oriented. Let us use this conference as an opportunity to reaffirm our collective commitment to building correctional system that not only ensures security, but also restore dignity, promote rehabilitation, and create real pathway to change. I thank you for your attention, and I wish you a very fruitful deliberation. Thank you, merci, obrigado, asante sana, zikomo. Thank you.
Asante sana, Professor Kula Teritsani, for the wonderful and insightful speech that we just delivered this very morning. Proceeding, it is now my singular honor and privilege to invite the Honorable Minister of Homeland Security, Honorable Peter Mukito, to give us his keynote address. Honorable Peter Mukito, sir.
Commissioner General and heads of correctional services from across the SADC region, Director of SADC organ on politics, defense, and security affairs, Professor Kula Teretsane, the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Homeland Security, Mrs. Linda Moyo, the Commissioner General of the Malawi Prison Service, Ms. Wandika Piri, all heads of corrections, prisons, and special services in SADC member states, all the representatives who have attended this conference and are present here today, the directors and other senior officials in the Ministry of Homeland Security and Malawi Prison Service present here, officials from the SADC Secretariat, the M&E experts and other senior officials from SADC member states attending this conference, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Mashibukeni, mwazuka bwanji, dumela, saubona, bondia, habari ya mzuri, and bonjour. It gives me immense pleasure and profound honor to welcome you all to Malawi, the warm heart of Africa. On behalf of His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, the President of the Republic of Malawi, and on behalf of the government and the people of Malawi, I extend the warm and heartfelt welcome to you all, our brothers and sisters from all the SADC member states. Allow me in the onset to sincerely thank each and every delegation present here today for traveling from different parts of our region to gather in unity, partnership, and shared purpose. Correction services occupy a very unique place in our societies. Many people see prisons only as places of punishment. But those of us entrusted with responsibility over the security and justice understand something deeper. Behind prison walls are human lives. Lives that made mistakes. Lives that lost direction. Lives that shaped by poverty, addiction, violence, and broken families, and sometimes hopelessness. And therefore, the duty of correction services goes far beyond confinement. It is about restoring discipline, restoring dignity, restoring hope, and ultimately, restoring humanity. Distinguished delegates, the strength of a corrections institution is not measured merely by walls, fences, or prison cells. No. Its true strength is measured by its ability to transform an offender and into a responsible citizen. Today, our region continues to face serious and evolving challenges. We are confronted by prison congestion, transnational organized crime, trafficking networks, violent extremism, drug and substance abuse, and increasing pressure on correctional infrastructure and personnel. These challenges require us not to work in isolation, but together. Together as neighbors, together as SADC nations, together as custodians of justice and security in our region. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is therefore not just another gathering on the calendar. No. It is a platform of reflection, a platform of cooperation, a platform where we evaluate our progress, share experiences, strengthen partnership, and shape the future of correction system in Southern Africa. As leaders, history will not judge us simply by the number of people we imprisoned. History will judge us by how many lives we have managed to reform. A prison must never become a breeding ground for hardened criminals. It must become a center of correction, a center of rehabilitation, a center of vocation empowerment, and a center of hope. This is why your work as correction leaders remains extremely important. Because every successful rehabilitation program, every transformed inmate, and every restored life contributes directly to peace, stability, and security within our nations. distinguished delegates, Malawi remains fully committed to the ideals and principles of the Southern Africa Development Community. We firmly believe that regional cooperation remains one of the strongest tools in addressing the complex security challenges facing our region today. As you deliberate during this meeting, I encourage you to engage openly, think boldly, and develop practical solutions that will strengthen correctional systems across the Southern Africa. Beyond the meeting rooms, I also encourage you to enjoy the beauty, peace, and hospitality of our country, Malawi, and the serenity of the Lake Malawi, one of the African greatest treasures. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to conclude by expressing my sincere appreciation to all members, states present, organizers of this important meeting, cooperative partners, and all correction personnel serving our region with dedication and professionalism. Together, let us build correction institutions that protect society while preserving human dignity. Together, let us build systems that inspire transformation rather than hopelessness. Together, let us strengthen justice, peace, security, and regional unity. It is now my singular honor and privilege to officially declare the SADC Correction Service Progress Meeting officially opened. I thank you all. May God bless you all. May God bless SADC, and may God bless the Republic of Malawi. Thank you very much.
If we may, another round of applause for the Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, we've been challenged, inspired, and motivated by your speech. And we know that going forward, things will move in the right direction, given the support that we are always given by government and all member states in here. Proceeding, Honorable Minister, with your indulgence, allow us to break into a gift presentation ceremony. In this case, scarves will be presented to member states as souvenirs. So I'll call out names of member states and they'll proceed to the platform to receive their scarves from the Honorable Minister, so that we can always remember the warm heart of Africa once we depart this great nation. So protocol team, kindly take charge. So what will happen is that member states will proceed to the podium and receive their scarf, and perhaps media team, you can take a note of this and do the needful in terms of photos. So request the protocol team who give guidance properly so that the Honorable Minister can be part of the presentation, and also the Professor Kula and the PS as well, so that that can be done seamlessly in that order. So, Honorable Minister, if it pleases you, you may rise and go towards that end, so that as they parade to the front, you can as well do the needful. Thank you very much for the wonderful arrangement. We'll now proceed in this segment by inviting Professor Kula Teretsane Director of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Affairs, Professor Kula Tritsane. Yes, you are there already, so protocol team will do the needful and present the scarf as directed. Professor Kula Tritsane. A round of applause for Professor Kula Teretsane as he receives his scarf. Yes, so the Honorable Minister, yes. Now, Professor, well attired in that scarf. Yes, thank you very much. Next is the Commissioner General, Malawi Prison Service, being the host. Commissioner General, Malawi Prison Service, Honorable Minister will do the needful so that she's also colored in that kind of scarf. Yes. A big hand for the Commissioner General. Proceeding, the Republic of Angola. Yes, Republic of Angola, to be followed by Botswana. Botswana, the Kingdom of Eswatini, in that order, please. That's Angola, then Botswana, the Kingdom of Eswatini, the Kingdom of Lesotho, next. That's the Kingdom of Eswatini. Lesotho, Mozambique, Namibia, Mozambique, Namibia, Seychelles, Republic of South Africa, to be followed by the United Republic of Tanzania, Seychelles, proceeding, that's Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe in terms of member states. And Madam Karibonga Muruti from SADC Secretariat. Thank you very much. We may get seated, Honourable Minister, and the rest of us. With the anthem was played.